Hello all zodiac signs, welcome to this general clip of Annemiek from Tarot Enlightenment. I'm going to explain the Magician and a bit also Pentacles too, but it's about the eternity symbol. The symbol of eternity, lemniscate it's called in my country, and here we have the big one. It came up a couple of times within readings, and I didn't mention it because it felt like I should do a complete different reading about it by itself. This might be a surprise for some of you what's going to happen now. Okay, imagine this sign, this eternity sign, yeah? Being like this. Then keep on watching it, continue. It's a symbol also about continuity, right? Continue to see this in front of you and make it bigger. And the upper loop is my head, is a head, and the loop below is the body. And then there, where the two meet, is the throat. You can call it the fifth chakra. This area is about communication, is about voicing yourself. It's about voicing your qualities, your talents. And people aren't doing that enough. People aren't doing that enough because society, cultures, they don't like it if you say, I'm good at this, I can do this. I even lost a friend about it because when I started doing these clips, he didn't like the way I was presenting myself. Like, I'm going to use a very superficial example now that everybody understands, right? And that's coming from somebody who had throat problems all of her life, yeah? It only passed the last year, actually, just in 2018-19 it started to change for me. Let's say that I dare saying about myself, I'm good looking. Some of you will think now, who does she think she is? How can you say that? You know, there will be jealousy, there will be attack, there will be defenses, there will be all kinds of judgments from all kinds of people coming from all kinds of issues, pain, anxieties, yeah? If I repress what I am, if I repress what I want to say, if I repress where I want to stand for, then it will hurt my throat. Or this area may also be about the lungs, even the neck and shoulders. If you have tensed shoulders, it might be about the throat going like this. This sign, this symbol is about flow, about continuity. If communication doesn't flow, you will have throat problems. This is also an inner process. If you're not honest with yourself, if you're talking lies to yourself, in other words, if you are repressing emotions from the heart, and the heart is just right beneath the throat, right? So it's very much connected, then you will get problems here. I get difficulty swallowing now. That's also if you are in a situation or have been in a situation which was difficult to digest. No, not even digest, that's a step further, but if you couldn't swallow it, if you couldn't take it in, if it was too much to hear, like, I want to break up with you, or you're fired, or you have to leave your house, or then you get problems swallowing, you can't take it in. That has also to do with the eternity symbol. You can't, it looks as if your life stops, as if you can't go through anymore, as if that which is always going, life is always flowing, seems to stop. Maybe somebody died or somebody got very ill. It's not about let it flow. This magician is about will, about doing, about taking responsibility for yourself. That means that in communicating is doing something, right? Is the urge to do something. This man is about the urge, the urgency to do something. He wants to manifest. The first thing to manifest is to say it to yourself. What is your dream? What is your big dream for yourself? What is your wish? What do you want for yourself? And are you allowed to even think about it? Or do you immediately think, that's only for the rich? Or that's only for the beautiful? Or I'm not that good? And even though, if it's true, even though it's a fact that you've already been rejected for a certain job, a certain performance, then still, don't deny yourself that dream. Maybe it can't come true, but not talking about it with yourself anymore will be hurtful, I do this and it feels like somebody is poking, maybe even literally here. I remember last year, my neighbor had a new dog, a puppy, and she left him alone way too long. And of course but this one started barking all the time, hours in a row. And eventually 7 other neighbors and me, we called the police and they came, and she had to do trainings, of course, but also they gave this dog, I found out and I was shocked, a leash, you call it, with electricity shocks in it when it starts barking. And I was like, oh, that's horrible for that little puppy. And the policeman said, no, it's not. It just feels as if you get 2 pushes here. And I was like, but that's not fun. That's not fun. This is you. This reading is about you as a puppy. You want to express. You want to be alive. You want to be vivacious. You want to express your lust for life. And you know the means to it. You see, they're here on the table. And one of them is talking about it. You have a tongue. You have a speak ability. Talk about it. But when others tell you no, they give you an electrical shock. That's horrifying, right? But let that not be a reason for you to stop, because you will have pain in this area for the rest of your life. I had it for decades. Just a little horror story about my life. Several people in different times in my life have tried to choke me. So this area was like bruised, broken completely. Even when I was abused, I did not dare speaking up. I was immediately smiling and trying to save the day and make things okay again. And with doing that and not expressing myself, I enabled that person to stay, I'm sorry for the word, but the asshole that he was. If I had had the guts the very first time to speak up for myself, to express myself, which was of course impossible because the communication means was shut off, literally, yeah? Almost figuratively and literally, physically as well. But if I would have expressed myself, then these persons would most probably were like, oh my God, she really doesn't like this. But I didn't even express that I didn't like it. I mean, and really bad things have happened to me, right? And again, one of the reasons why I'm giving these clips, these videos, is because I'm out of it. And if I can get out of it, everybody can. My willingness to be pure, to be clean, to be happy was so intense, so immense. And it's that willingness is like an ongoing prayer. An ongoing prayer from here, talking to the higher self, talking to my inner guide, my inner teacher, my highest self, however you want to name it, right? I was able to talk with myself in that way. And therefore I got out of it eventually, and I ran into the right people who could help me, who could heal me, help me heal myself. That part did not stop communicating with me, and it never will. That is for everybody. I don't want to call it God, but the higher self or the Holy Spirit will never stop communicating with you. For me, life became really juicy and happy and great when I dared speaking up for myself. Doesn't mean that I suddenly started yelling at people, right? My North Node is in Aries, so it would be good for me to do that, actually, yeah? But that's 1 on 12 people for whom that's a lesson, right? But I never really did. Sometimes I did, yeah, and then I'm proud of myself. Yeah, there was a man in my house half a year ago, well, last summer, and he wanted a hug after 3 hours of talking, and the conversation was nice, so I was like, yeah, okay, he's leaving, so a hug. But he wasn't leaving. He wanted a hug because he wanted to touch me, and he didn't want to let me go. I had to push him away and slip out underneath his arms, and then he followed me and touched me again from behind. He placed his hands on my shoulders, and I did like this. And even 10 years before that, I never dared doing that, right? I would be... I would give everything to everybody. My voice, my inner voice, my identity. I gave everything, my life. I gave everything to everybody. And then this person made a remark like, oh, that's not such a big deal, you know, you don't have to be so bitchy about it. And I wasn't even really bitchy about it. And then I started yelling, and that was for the first time in my life, really consciously, that I started yelling at a man who was trying to, well, abuse me, who was trying to do something against my will. So I yelled at him, it's not okay to do this. This is my home. You're harassing me. I don't want this. And I made it very clear, I don't want this. Then stop touching me. Okay. And he left, and he felt guilty about it. That I also didn't mean for that to happen, but he got it, at least, yeah. And he didn't call me anymore afterwards. So that was great. This is an example, and I know many of you can find yourselves in this story. It's important to have this symbol clear. And again, one of the ways to do that, one of the ways is that's necessary, that's a condition for life to be flowing very easily, very effortlessly. Everything that you need, everything you want, everything that you didn't even know that you wanted it, can come to you when you have life flowing, when you're in surrender. My throat is very dry now. I don't know that feeling, really. This is awkward for me. You know where you need to speak about. You know in which way to do it. And if you can't talk, but if you start crying, or if you know that from the past you start crying when you start talking about something that's important for you, that's also communicating, right? That's also communicating. And don't let them tell you, oh, you're so emotional. I always bought it when people told me that. I wasn't emotional. I'm very grounded. I have a lot of, it was in my horoscope, I have 6 planets, 6 out of 10 in Earth. I'm very grounded. I wasn't emotional. I was having feelings. And I needed to express them. And people told me from the very first day that I was born, it's not okay. It's not okay to express yourself. And most of us have that experience since childhood. I think I brought up a lot of stuff. Laughing is also one of the ways to express yourself and to create, to manifest a nice life for you, right? Actually, manifesting isn't the right word, but that's another video, right? Okay, I'm going to get a card about this subject, a different one than the Magician and, what was the other one? Two of Pentacles, to see if there's anything else that needs to be spoken. For after all, this session is about speaking, right? Yeah. If this card is about too fast, you can communicate too fast, but not the ones that are watching this video now. You can't do it too fast. Do it fast. This is an advice, right? Do it fast. That is, if something happens, then try to immediately communicate about it. Don't let it sit for days. If something pisses you off, and we have all learned not to show our anger, we push it down. But if you push it down, it's not gone, right? If you got angry even this little bit 10 years ago, if you haven't dealt with it, if you haven't expressed it, or by hitting a pillow or throwing glass on the rock, if you haven't expressed it, if it's not out of your system, it's still in your system. Repressing is not getting away from it. And it will manifest in another way, like pain in whatever area here. Yeah? My left arm was the word that comes up was broken, because energetically it was broken. I couldn't lift it higher than that. It was an excruciating pain, and I had it for 20 years, and it disappeared once I started speaking up. I didn't really shout it at people like I said before, but I fantasized about it. I played it. I did role plays with myself, and I pretended that the other one was in front of me, and I started saying what I needed to say. And I did that so often that when a situation like that would occur again, I could calmly speak my mind, but firmly, calm but firmly. I don't like this. I don't want this anymore. You don't treat other women like that too, right? Then why me? Stop it. Or whatever came up. Yeah? Let me see. This card is also about, a fresh new power. You will notice that once you start communicating, you will feel a freshness in you, a vivacity. For those of you tuning into this video, it's very important for you to start talking about yourself. Don't be indifferent. Yeah, that's like Four of Cups. Don't be indifferent about it. If a situation comes to you, take it fully. That's life, yeah? Life happens. Life happens. You don't have control over it. We all think we have. And sometimes it looks as if we have, but we don't. Therefore, I also don't like the word manifesting. You don't have control. Things happen. But victory will be there. Yeah, victory will be there. And you will rise. You will rise. But don't stay in the shadow. Be like reborn again. Don't stand in the shadow anymore. Or at least not about this subject, this issue, this problem, this nightmare that you still have in your mind. It needs to be spoken. This is such an important area. It's so pretty and so strong. I'm burping a little bit now. Things are coming up for me as I tune in to you. It's nice. Things are coming up. You know what you need to talk about, right? And the way that you will do that is the right way. Don't be ashamed about it, because shame sits here as well, right? Stuff happened to me. People did things to me, really bad things to me, and I was the one feeling ashamed. Isn't that weird? Shame is also part of this. Maybe you like to join a choir. And it doesn't have to be a Christian one about God songs, but a choir with like Three of Cups, like with jolly women or men who just like to whoa, yeah? Or find a way to express yourself. If you play an instrument and you need your mouth for it, great, use it, yeah? And watch your breathing is also a very good exercise. Talk. It's time to talk when you're still watching this. And when you feel broken, you hear that my voice got a bit broken there. Especially for those still watching. Talk. Communicate. Tell yourself in the first place what you really want and how you want it. Don't deny yourself anything. Every feeling that you have has the right to be there because it is there. You're human. And the best quality you have is being human. And being human also means having emotions and expressing them. Thank you for watching. You can watch other general clips from me, or the tarot clips, or the satsang clip, if you want to sink deeper. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.